the Christmas Day bomber, and the bomb in New York City. There are many people that 9/11 opened up the doors to opportunities for these people to come here, and they know we're vulnerable. And unfortunately, since then, I believe we have fallen asleep at the wheel, and we are not realizing that these people are coming through our borders. So we have to make decisions that are crucial. And I'm tired of an administration that is apologetic to the rest of the world and trying to be politically correct to everyone. And we are not sending a strong message by allowing a mosque to be built in New York City. There are thousands of mosques around this country. And I know we were founded on religious freedoms, but they can put their mosque somewhere else. There's hundreds of them in New York. Do not disgrace the American people by not honoring the worst act on our home soil land ever to happen to this country. So we must stand strong, not promote it, not encourage it, and not be polite about it. This is the United States of America. We need to protect our legal citizens and our borders. Thank you.
I think the question was more of the homegrown, although it is a problem that we do have Hamas sifting through our borders from Mexico. But what are we going to do about our neighbors? You see, there's a gentleman in the audience by the name of Joe Kaufman that I've shared platforms with. Of course, it's out actually on the street corner. But we were out there protesting a mosque being built in Pompano Beach. That's in our backyard, folks. They're putting a mosque in one of the poorest neighborhoods in Broward County. Why? Because they're recruiting our poor. They're in our prisons. They're in our schools. We have a sign that's supported by CARE. Adopted one of our highways right outside of the entrance to Nova University. The most impressionable people in our society, our children. That's unacceptable. What we have to do is recognize that this is a war, and Reverend Dozer says it best, that we may not be at war with Islam, but radical Islam is most definitely at war with us, and they're coming through as a perversion, as a cancer into our society. That's what we have to pay attention to. What we have to look at is our political correctness. And perhaps we have to question that and look the other direction and profile the people that are out to destroy us from within. It's a war, ladies and gentlemen, and we have to fight that. Or the very democracy, the very liberty and freedom that we were gifted is at stake. Thank you.
How would you handle homegrown terror? Homegrown terrorism, as both of my co-debaters mentioned, is happening both within our communities and coming over our borders. And we do have to deal with both. We must secure our borders. I outlined, in fact, many of you were at the last debate, how through some of our enemies in our region, Hugo Chavez, and I do call him an enemy, he's an enemy of liberty and an enemy of this country. Hugo Chavez has already partnered up with Hezbollah and Hamas to train terrorists in the security zones of Venezuela and Brazil. And we do have terrorist cells crossing our borders here into the United States. But we also have the problem of terrorism being trained and happening in our country. We must be allowed to call it what it is. We can't say, we can't change the terms. Our president likes to call them man-caused disasters. I think we have to call terrorism what it is, and we have to be swift and severe in our punishments. So we have to promote capitalism. We have to promote capital punishment in the cases where we have these acts of terrorism. I don't even know why the guy at Fort Hood is still in a hospital somewhere. Thank you.
The next subject topic is energy policy and the oil spill. The first question goes to Ms. Donna Milo. Do you support or oppose the current offshore oil restrictions?
Vehemently oppose. We need to exploit all of our energy resources in our country. We have to wean ourselves off of foreign oil. We're sending hundreds of billions of dollars to countries overseas that are not our friends, and they're funneling that money back in the form of supporting terrorism against us. So we must exploit all of our energy resources, both onshore, nearshore, and offshore. I support wholeheartedly offshore drilling. I support offshore drilling anywhere that we have oil in our country, because we must be independent. As we explore and learn new technologies, make other technologies. Is this question a 3-minute question?
Two.
I'm sorry, a 2-minute question. As we make other technologies more cost-effective, because we must remember that if we have a government impose a technology on us that's not cost-effective, it's not good for our country, because it also does wealth transfer. We cannot transfer our wealth. The greatest gift we pass our children is knowledge. Knowledge that they can buy with their choice, with their wealth, not indoctrination handed out by the government after they take your wealth. So we have to exploit our resources while we develop better energy technologies that are less expensive than burning coal, oil, and other things. But we must exploit that energy. Thank you.
Ms. Harrington, do you support or oppose the current offshore oil restrictions? 1 minute.
I oppose the offshore oil drilling restrictions. I'm very sorry for the loss of life with the oil spill, and unfortunately it took the reaction of our government way too long in order to help clean up the spill. I'm very happy that we were able to cap the spill, and supposedly according to the government they have been able to clean up most of the spill. But I would oppose maybe only shutting down those particular rigs that BP ran that were considered substandard, that particular brand, and I would allow for the other ones to continue to operating. Thousands of jobs depend on, and we get oil successfully, cleanly, and efficiently for many years. This spill was an isolated incident, and I do not want to buy my oil from countries that hate us. And I will continue to support offshore oil drilling.
Mr. Robert Lowry, do you support or oppose the current offshore oil restrictions?
I oppose the offshore oil restrictions vehemently. We are a carbon-based economy. We are a carbon-based people. That's who we are in this planet. We're united in that. I was reading the GOP House HR 5846, which outlined an incredible energy policy moving forward. It includes over 100 new nuclear power plants being built. But it also takes in consideration of what the government has already done. If you remember, we're only drilling in deep water because the EPA, the Department of Energy, won't allow us to drill in shallower water. And we took $2 billion and sent it to the drilling of the coast of Brazil, of our stimulus money, to drill in water that's even deeper than 5,000 feet that the last well that we had to leave from. So what we have to do is consider where we are as a nation and what we want to do in terms of our future. What we have to make is a hard decision that we need the oil. Let's use ours. Let's use our shale along the Rockies. Let's use our natural gas. Let's drill in Anwar. Let's drill on safe places and allow us to take care of ourselves so we're not depending on foreign countries such as even Mexico and Canada and people that don't really like us all that much. And that's what we need to do for a cohesive record.
The next question goes to Ms. Harrington. That is a very similar question, so I'm going to take another one. Ms. Harrington, how can we reverse the government's hold on public land? How do we fight back against government lobbyists? I'm not sure that has to do with oil or... Let's take another one. Oh, we're out of that one. Okay, I guess that's me off the cuff then. Let's see. Do you support drilling in Anwar?
As many of you may know, in Anwar, we have only over 20 million acres. And a long time ago, Jimmy Carter gave us a small amount of land that we were allowed to drill off of. And unfortunately, we really haven't utilized that. So yes, I support drilling in Anwar. Drilling off of our land will make it safer, and if we do have an accident, we are able to cap it. Alaska is a beautiful place. I've been there on vacation twice, and I certainly don't want to mess with the environment or hurt the animals that are up there. But if you know anything about Anwar, it is a place that is very isolated, and like I said, there's 20 million acres. So we are not utilizing our own sources. We outsource 66% of our oil we get from other countries. We need to be self-reliant. We are the only country in the world that doesn't utilize all of its own energy. And we do have 500 more years of coal They say we have 1,100 more years of natural gas.